Yeah.
East Coast in the house. Hey man, we're gonna jump right into this because it's been hot this week, man. It's been hot this week.
Yeah, man. Putting people in front of the firing squad this week, man.
Who you talking about? Let me know who you talking about. Who in the fire squad, man?
Man, they putting people out there, man. They see it goes back to what I always say. You know what I'm saying? They always want death for you, but they want, you know what I'm saying, they want pardon for them. You know?
Who is them? There we go.
The people that want death for you.
They want grace for them and death for you, huh?
Yeah.
It's just them people, huh? So I'm thinking you're talking about. I know
Americans.
The Americans.
Yeah.
All of the Americans?
Yeah.
Nah, not all of them, man.
The ones that get mad and want death for you.
And want death for me. So y'all probably wondering what Mr. One Good Leg talking about. He, last week I know we talked a little bit about Ye over the last couple of weeks, but like right after that, Kyrie, and Dion, correct me if I'm wrong. Did he just tweet this show that he was watching on Amazon?
Yeah, he tweeted the link or whatever, and that was pretty much it.
That was it, pretty much. He didn't say nothing?
No.
Now, I haven't seen the show, but I heard some things about it. Like, it was saying that the Holocaust was hoax or something like that, I think. But I think what I want to talk about, because again, I think we've already kind of, shared our opinion on the Hebrew Israelites. If you haven't seen last show, definitely go check that out. We broke it down, and basically is Kanye right? So, go back and see what our thoughts are on with that. But what we broke it down to was, we all come from a darker race. All of us. The Bible tells us that there's no more Jew or Gentile anyway. So my last thought, I think, was, why does it really matter? Because all of us have access to God through the Spirit. So, whether you believe you're the original Jews or not, I think God made that a mute point when you get to the New Testament. So, but, when it comes to Kyrie, what I want to talk about is, the actual punishment that he's receiving, as Dion would put it, like he in front of the firing squad. There's a number of things that he's being required to do before he comes back to play for the Brooklyn Nets, or I don't even know if he's ever going to come back to play for the Brooklyn Nets. But so he had to apologize, which he did. He did apologize, right? I did hear that. Right?
I guess not to their satisfaction.
But I think he said the words, I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he definitely apologized. I mean, definitely. Everybody agrees on that point.
Then he had to, one of the stipulations, he had to go take some empathy training or something with, to understand, how to, I don't know, how to say things better. He had to pay like $500,000 to an organization, I guess a charitable organization. I don't know if they specified, Jewish or not, but it was a list of like 6 things. So I guess my question to you guys is, kind of heard Dion's answer already. Do we think that's reasonable? Do we think we're going overboard with this punishment for Kyrie?
We definitely going overboard, like way overboard, for the simple fact that these are not statements that he even made. See, that's where let's start there. Like, it'd be different if he got on the internet or TV or wherever and made these statements out of his mouth and made this like it was his position. Then we would have something to discuss. but he didn't even make any statements to this particular point. The media was trying to basically make it seem like, oh, this is your position, this is where you are, you're anti-Semitic. He said, I'm not anti-Semitic because I know where I came from. So, if you know that, then you know that I can't be. So at that point, he denied it. Okay? At that point, he hadn't said anything that was wrong out of his mouth. Him merely posting the link was enough to get them riled up. Because again, it's about, you don't even have the right to do or say anything, out of place or out of character, when all of these other people can do and say whatever they want, and basically all they got to do is apologize and it's swept under the rug. But you look at his situation, he's got to do all this whole long list of things before he can even get reinstated. These people, meanwhile, have done what they've done and went right back to work. They never took no time off. They never did nothing to, show that they've said out of their mouth these things. Sarah Silverman was in blackface. Howard Stern said the N-word during a podcast or a skit that they was doing. Like, these people have directly done things, with their own likeness and image and with their mouths and everything, and they haven't received this kind of flack. So, to me, it's really about the fact, obviously, that he's black. Obviously. Because otherwise, it wouldn't be no big deal. Because these people have done much worse and had nothing happen to him. So obviously, it's the fact that he's black. I'm calling a spade at this point. Okay. So, I don't buy into all that, and I don't think he should have to do nothing else.
I think it's about controlling the narrative in our nation. We've had a hard time with racism, hard time with different things, but I think it's about control. It don't have nothing to do about what you do or don't do. It's controlling a certain narrative to keep a certain narrative going. If you say it against us, browner people or darker people, it's okay, you sweep it on the rug. But if they say anything, and it's not as if the punishment is equal across the board. Skin all of our laws, it plays into socioeconomic background, ethnicity, and laws are just not written in our favor. And if you don't break the law, you just make up a law if somebody do something you don't like. And it's controlling a narrative. You don't want people to think more of themselves. You don't want people to believe certain things about themselves. That's why our history has been hidden and it's busting out at the seams nowadays. Stuff I didn't even know. All these many years going to school and thinking about history. History ain't even history in America. You just made up some stuff, put in some books, and now that it's busting out, people get nervous because they don't want to believe it was that atrocious. But it is what it is. But in all of that, at the end of the day, you cannot just sweep it under the rug. That's it. That's over. It's done. Boom. And if you say something, we got to drag you or do whatever we got to do to you. And I don't think it has anything to do with necessarily what he said that they're that upset is who's representing something, just to keep a certain narrative going. That's my thoughts, completely and honestly. We want to control how you think of yourself. We want to control in the media how you believe about yourself. And we don't want, and if you get out of line, what we want to say is, you don't have no freedom of speech if you don't say what we want you to say. Now, you say what we want you to say, you be free all day. Don't say what we want you to say, and we're going to have some stipulations on your livelihood. That's what I believe the bottom line be about.
Out with spiritually, all of us have access to God, right? I do completely understand the need to understand our history and our lineage and what that conversation looks like and what that conversation can be like and what it needs to be like. But I think, like with everything, there's a way to have that conversation and a thing to have that conversation. So, for me, for example, I don't know if I need someone else's validation to tell me, who I am and where I come from. I believe that this is my heritage. This is who I am, regardless of what anybody says. That's how I'm going to operate and kind of carry myself. right? I think the only thing I disagree with when it comes to the Kyrie situation maybe is, again, I haven't watched the movie itself, um, but from some of the people there, and even out of Kyrie's mouth, he even said, "I don't agree with everything that's in it." To your point, Dion, I think that's important for people to understand. Like, there was some things said in that to where historically probably doesn't make any sense, but could be deemed very hurtful. Like if my parents or if my heritage were a part of the Holocaust, and then someone was to say that didn't happen or anything like that, then I can get the uproar with that, right? I think in part of it, they quoted Hitler, and as far as my understanding and what I know about Hitler, there's not much that I would want to quote, regarding him to really even back up our justification, because as far as I'm concerned, Hitler didn't like, if you didn't have blonde hair and blue eyes, he didn't like you anyway. So I would kind of take that with a grain of salt. But I will sum this up for me by saying that I think the punishment was definitely overdone, right? Dion, you brought up like a couple of different scenarios that I saw. There has been a lot of different things that's happened, and to your point, to other races that don't seem to have as much of an impact on it. And but this is where I'm kind of conflicted, right? So we have people this saying, hey, this is misinformation. It shouldn't have, it's anti-Semitic, yada yada yada. It's okay for us to sell it, for people to watch it, but it's not okay for
him to say it.
an NBA player